great 4 years, and I want to say thank you to all of you, because in 1996, you sent a Democratic majority to the New Hampshire House for the first time in almost 90 years. So thank you for doing that 4 years. And for repeating that 2 years ago, and for giving it a hell of a try in this last election. As Lenore said, it was absolutely a Republican year from coast to coast. Oodles of out-of-state money on the Republican side, not matched by the same level of money on the Democratic side, unfortunately. But during those 4 years, it was absolutely my distinct honor to serve as Speaker of the New Hampshire House. And because of the Democratic majority that you sent, we actually turned over the reins just last month to the Republicans. And my challenge to them is, don't let us slide back, because this is what we left you with. We left you with one of the best educated states in the entire country. You with the safest state in the country. We left you with a state that had one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country and was had the second fastest job growth of any state in the entire country. And you know what, my personal favorite? We left you Republicans with the best state in which to raise a family. So what are you going to do with that, Republicans? Well, I certainly hope it's not what Larry suggested. But because we had such great Democrats in the House, many of them from the Seacoast, we were able really to accomplish a lot of things. So I want to say thank you individually to some of the reps that are here that are not serving again this term. Some because they didn't run again, and others because of the Republican tide. Certainly, everybody in this room knows and has known for decades the work that Paul McEachern has done. Over the last few years, he served on Commerce Committee during the majority and really watched out for consumer protections, for access to health care, insurance, and the Republicans now want to undo that. They want to undo, now this is really interesting, they want to undo all the health care mandates, but only the ones that Democrats put in the last 4 years. It's okay to have the ones before that. But they want to undo all those mandates for health care, access to health care that Paul helped to pass. So I hope we're not going to let them do that. Thank you very much, Paul. And Jim Splain's not here, and I don't have to tell you that Jim Splain was the sponsor of the civil marriage bill. And I want to thank Jim and everybody else who worked so hard. The Vermont House was the first chamber in the country ever to pass civil marriage, and they only beat us by 1 day. So the Republicans, of course, want to repeal civil marriage, and I hope that you will not let that happen either. And David Gordon is here. I was just at an event last night, and somebody said to me, I'm so going to miss David Gordon because of it was somebody from a business that came often before the Science, Technology, and Energy Committee on which David served, that commented about how thoughtful he was, how engaged he was, and his critical thinking in the committee. And because of that, our environmental protections air issues in particular, and the passage of Reggie, we want to say thank you to David Borton for all your work on this. Now you might notice the theme here because, guess what? The Republicans want to repeal Reggie, but I hope you're not going to let them do that either. And Trinka Russell is here. She worked really hard on making sure that all of our vulnerable citizens really had access to essential services. And in particular, under the Democratic majority, we were able, finally, to eliminate the developmental disabilities wait list. And the Republicans say we're going to slash and burn when it comes to the budget. I hope we're not going to let them do that either. Thank you, Trinka. And Bob Perry is here. And Bob, worked really hard. He came in with the idea that he was going to make sure that the largest number of people that possibly could would have the right to go out and to vote and decide who was going to represent them. And he was on the election law committee and really worked hard to make sure that we had as broad access as possible to elections. And guess what? There are dozens of bills in by the Republicans to limit access to the polls. In fact, if you heard, our current speaker said, well, college students shouldn't vote here in New Hampshire because, after all, they're inexperienced and they vote liberal. But we're not going to let them get away with that either, I hope. Thank you, Bob. And lastly, I think the last one, at least the last one I've seen here, Sue Kepner is here from Hampton. And Sue, you mentioned no smoking here, and smoking issues, whether it was with children in cars or the butts on the beach or smoking in restaurants, among a lot of other issues, were issues very important to Sue. And I have to say that maybe that's the first one I've come to that, at least so far, I've not heard that they're going to try to repeal. So thank you so much to all of these Democrats. That you'll give a big hug to all of the rest of us that are still there, 3-1, with in the wild, wild west, so it seems, trying to protect what we were able to accomplish over the last 4 years. So thank you to all of the state reps.